my first child, so I didn't really know what I was doing. I didn't know what to expect, but I could tell that he wasn't developing normally. He would never look at me. He just cried all the time. I couldn't comfort him. And then as he got older, he just missed every developmental milestone. He didn't sit, he didn't crawl, he didn't walk, he didn't talk. And it took me quite a long time to convince anybody that there was an issue. There was very much an attitude of, he's a boy, boys develop later, he'll catch up. I knew it was autism. I didn't know how severe it was. I didn't really know a lot about autism, but what I did know was influenced by what I'd seen on the media, so it was very much a higher functioning kind of autism. And you want to believe that your kid's okay.
He has physical difficulties, so his right foot, he's tiptoe walker, but his right foot is almost like, at an angle. So it affects his gait and how he walks, and his Achilles is just pretty much so shortened. So physically, he is impacted massively by his autism, and mentally, he's a sharp, bright boy, but obviously because he's not able to communicate or be verbal for a lot of the time, it's difficult to know what's going on.
With autism, you get no help. There's no solution, there was no treatment. We literally were told, yes, it's autistic, there's nothing you can do about it, there is no treatment, here's a leaflet, off you go, find a support group if you're lucky. That was pretty much it.
Going out to a social event, we can't ever switch off or engage with people because the whole time we're doing a risk assessment. So going out to those kind of events are hugely stressful. So we've tended to just avoid them, or one of us might go with one of the girls. But it means the family is always fragmented. It's very difficult to do anything as a 5. When you have a child on the severe end who is, doubly incontinent, non-verbal, often in extreme anxiety, unable to tell us, unable to engage and really see the world in its as it could be, I hate what the condition robs him of.
You also hear a lot of people saying, oh, I wouldn't change, my child's disability. I would. I'd take it away in a heartbeat. I'd give my limbs to take it away, because I find it very strange that people wouldn't want their child to be able to talk or play or work or love or get married or have a family or even use the toilet. These are why would you not want that for your child? I don't understand people that say, oh, I love him just the way he is, I wouldn't change it. Of course I love him the way he is, of course I do, but do I wish it was different and he could have a fuller life? Of course I do. Zach's life is what his life is, but it not only defines him, it does define his sisters as well, and that's not fair. You have to try and protect them from it, But yeah, they were massively affected by it, and that is really difficult. But you're also doing it on no sleep, because the other thing he doesn't do is sleep. So all night, he's either laughing hysterically or bouncing up and down or trashing his bedroom or crying, being distressed. And that means the girls don't sleep and we don't sleep. So, after 9 years of about 2 hours sleep a night, your tolerance is down and your ability to cope is down. And there's a reason why sleep deprivation is a torture technique. You cannot function, and we just reached the point where we could just see it wasn't sustainable. So you then reach the realization that you're not the best person to look after your own child, which is heartbreaking because you feel like a complete failure. The one thing you can do is look after that child and keep him safe, and we couldn't do that. So at that point I conceded that we'd have to look at a residential school, and there was only one that we would consider, which was Prior's Court. We went to look around and I cried all of the way around. I was crying for lots of different reasons. I was crying with recognition that there were children like Zach there. I was crying with relief that there was somewhere where he would fit in. I could see that he would fit in perfectly there. I was crying with heartbreak that was the right place for him and not with us, and that we couldn't provide him with what he needed, that somebody else could do that better than us. That was very difficult. And I was also crying because I could see it was the right place, and I knew we had a hell of a battle on our hands to then try and get him in.
The thing that gets forgotten in the whole process that I found myself having to remind myself of and everybody was that at the end of the day, we've had to make a decision that we can't meet Zach's needs. And that the only way that Zach is going to have his needs met is to be away from us for a lot of the time at a residential school, with experts and practitioners that are world class, but we don't know them. Total strangers to begin with, and I still don't know many of them. We're at the beginning of this journey. We had to make a decision that for Zach to have a life that he deserves, to have a foundation when he's a young boy going into being, a teenager and then a young man, we can't provide that for him. So it's a very tough decision to make in the first place. So I can tell you one thing for certain is when we heard that we'd got Zach into Priors, and then recently when we heard that Zach got 44 termly, there's no opening of champagne or woohoo, great. It's really weird, man. It's just a moment of, you feel quite flat, quite deflated, because actually it's sad that that's the decision that you have to make. And then only actually as time goes on does it start to make sense, and the few times I've seen Zach at, when I see Zach at Priors and I see the love and care that people have for him and and how he's made some real improvements, then you go, this is what it was about. This is what it was all about. They give us an update every Tuesday and Thursday, and it's just brilliant just hearing about what he's been doing, the walks he's been going for, and obviously, going swimming once, every couple of weeks, and, music therapy, and he's got a really great physio there who is really working tirelessly to help him with his foot.
I would just love him to be able to communicate his needs and his emotions. I would love that. I would love him to give me a cuddle and say, "I love you, Mummy." That's kind of the height of what I would want for him, for me. I would like him to be as independent as possible. I just want him to be happy. That's all you ever really want for your kids. I'd love him to have friends, and that's one of the wonderful things that's happened at Priors Court. He has a friend for the first time. He's 10 and he's made a friend, and they obviously don't talk, but they sit next to each other and watch DVDs, and they're just together and they're interested in each other, which is amazing. He's never shown that amount of interest in his sisters.
And we have an evening with the girls, and the girls are laughing and playing charades, and we're having a glass of wine, and we're sat out on the decking. It's a beautiful night, and the girls are just being amazing. And there's always this part that is just like, yes, but Zach isn't with us, and it's always going to be that way. That nothing will ever be quite right, because he's not here, and even at the happiest moment, there's this ache because, you know, he's not with us. And Christ, I would do anything to have him with us, you know, but I then have to go, this is not about me or us. This is about what is he doing right now? Right now, he's out on the nature trail. He's out on the sensory trail. He's having a swim, you know, he's having one-to-one. He's playing drums or guitar with Thompson. He's, you know, he's doing all of this, and it becomes about just any moment where it threatens to be a little overwhelming with the sadness. It's just like, remember what this was about, and it's always been about Zach.